Hello and welcome to 3DHP. My name is Jerry. The reason I'm doing this video, I just got a great deal off of amzn.to from CC Tree. I got an Ender3 Pro. I already have a regular Ender3. I love it. It's an awesome little printer, and I have two CR10s. I really didn't need a fourth printer since I'm a hobbyist and I print for myself. I don't sell anything and I don't make anything for anybody else. But I wanted to show you what I got here in a box. I'm going to open it up, show you what I got. I'm going to do a time lapse of me building it, and then once we get done with that, I'll go at the end of the video, I'll tell you what I thought about it, and good points and bad points, and go from there. But for now, let's open it up and see what we got in the box. Hopefully it's the right printer they sent me. I got it in 2 days. I ordered on Amazon. I got free shipping, no sales tax, and I got it in 2 days. That was really awesome. CC Tree says it's on sale. I don't know what the regular price is, but for $269.99. And that's it, and you get it in 2 days. I couldn't pass it up. So we got a little box inside of a big box. Let's take it out and see what's going on here. Well, it's definitely taped up good. It's not going to come untaped. Very well packed. Okay, we have an instruction manual, tells you how to put it together, and it says Ender3 Pro 3D printer right on it. Lots of goodies. Upgraded mean-well power supply. It's not the generic stock one they put on the CR10s and the regular Ender. And the power supply is flipped to 230. Now, one thing you want to do right away before you start building is flip this to 110 if that's what your country uses for power. And here in the US, everything is 110. So I'll take my knife, flip that over to 115 volt. That's where it needs to be. So we won't have any issues once I turn it on. Frame rails. PLA, acupuncture needle, and a few other little gizmos. A little tool kit for putting it together, wire ties. LCD screen, which just says Ender on it, does not say Pro. Power cord, 110 for US. Little spatula, which I don't care for. They're not that thin. I guess you could grind it down and make it thinner. I use a build tack and love it. The build tack has a handle on it. It's kind of an L shape, gets right underneath the prints. Just securely, firmly hold the bed. When you slide it up underneath, it'll pop a print every time. This one I don't really care for. This has a magnetic build sheet on it, so once a print is done, you can remove the build sheet and you can bend it and just pop it right off. So the scraper you won't even need. Unless you got debris stuck on it, you can't get off, you can scrape it loose. Okay, everything there. More frame rails, extruder and stepper motor, control box, the bed, stepper motor, the bottom half of the printer, and the hot end is here also. The roller, the spool roller holder. Running out of room here. Let's get another stepper motor in here. And that appears to be everything in the box. I can keep the box, I guess, and rewrap a Christmas present in for somebody, and they'll think they're getting a printer when they're actually not. They'll be all excited until they open whatever I give them. Well, that's all the parts, so I need to, I'm going to run this in time lapse, get it all put together. I don't need to spend a half hour or so putting it together and showing you every little detail. But once I get it all done, and then we can talk about it some more. So let me pause the camera here for a second. Hello, well, I finally got that done. Anyway, let's take off the magnetic build sheet. Lifts right off and says this print comes off. Wow, that was pretty simple, no scraping involved. My test print was a little doggy. See how it came out. Yeah, it looks really nice. Got a couple little places to clean up from the supports, but it came out, I don't know, almost perfect. I can barely see layer lines on part of it. But I'm going to put stepper dampeners on the printer, and I got a few other things, a few other upgrades, and should solve that problem. And this build mat, you put it back on, simply roughly put it in place, drop it, and you're done. Just make sure it's not too far to the left or too far to the right, so it doesn't hit your V slot rails. So what do I think of the Ender3 Pro? Well, for the price, I got it on Amazon. It's on sale, I believe. CC Tree is selling it here in the US on Amazon, the Creality Ender3 Pro, for $269.99. Free shipping, no tax. I got it in 2 days. I can't beat it. I can't beat the price. I think it's awesome. My regular Ender3 I bought when it first came out, like 3 or 4 days after it was released. It cost me $189. I do not remember if I paid shipping or not from China, but it took me between 15 and 30 days to get it. Took quite a while, and Amazon ships out real fast. I noticed that the linear rail that the bed sits on down here, my regular Ender3 is half this size. This is double wide on this one that they upgraded. It's like the CR10, it's double wide. The rollers on this, the V-slot rollers that are on the bed, there's 4 of them obviously, but this time they drilled them and put them straight across from each other. On the regular Ender3, they're staggered at an angle. They're not directly across from each other. I like this setup much better. What else can I say about it? The rollers are all double bearing rollers. They're not single bearing. The regular Ender3 has double bearing, and CR10s have double bearing. This also has double bearing. They took the control box, which I call the motherboard. They flipped it upside down so the fan is now on the bottom and not the top. I don't think there's going to be any cooling issues. There's a lot of slots in the bottom louvers that they cut into it for plenty of airflow. And your slot on the top for your USB cable and your memory card go on the top. They're not near the bottom anymore. It does have power resume, but since I'm hooking up a Pi to this with Octoprint, I won't need that feature because I won't be printing directly from the SD card. And for print resume, it needs to print directly off the SD card so it can read it and write to it and then override itself constantly. So basically, I don't know, it's great. A lot of people online have done videos and I don't really think it's worth the extra $100 upgrade. Well, I don't think it cost me $100 to upgrade over what I paid for my original one. You can buy a Meanwell power supply to put on your standard Ender. I have one that I ordered from th3dstudios.com coming. It cost me $45. It's in the mail. And then I printed a new cover for the power cable that I will put on my standard Ender3. This one's already upgraded. I don't need to do that. So personally, it's great. I'm going to put an easy ABL bed sensor on it from TH3D. That way I don't have to mess with these rollers all the time adjusting them. And I'll put an easy out filament sensor from TH3D also on here. So if it runs out of filament, it'll pause the print, lock the steppers, move them out of the way, and then you can just replace it at your convenience when you realize it's ran out, and hit resume print. It heats right back up the nozzle, and then it goes from there. This bed mat is magnetic. I hear it can't go above 70 C on the temperature. It'll start losing its magnetism. I print with my bed at 60 all the time on PLA. I have another printer for ADS, a CR10 that I have in an enclosure if I wish to crank up the temperatures. So basically, like I said, and the PTFE tube, this white one, the tube goes all the way to the nozzle through the heat break and the cooling block down through the hot end to the nozzle. I'll be replacing that also with something similar to Capricorn, which I've used in the past. It's called Tough Tube. They also sell it on Amazon through CC Tree has it. And I believe they call it, I don't remember what they call it, but it's blue in color. And XS series or something like that, XL series, which is really good. So basically it's a great machine for a great price. If you want to print something big like a head or a full-size mask, get a CR10. you know, 300 by 300, and this is 220 by 220. So this can't do anything that large, but most of your prints that you're going to print, I print action figures and such, they're individual parts that are perfect with Ender. I really didn't need a fourth printer, but now I have it. I got two CR10s and two Ender3s now. One's a Pro, one's a standard. I love it. I think it's great, and I do recommend this to everybody that wants, that can't make up their mind. Should they get the standard one and then put all the upgrades on it, which I think you'll probably spend more money depending on where you get your parts from, or just buy this one. Another thing about this linear V rail in front that the bed mounts on that has a belt is that since it's wider, it has a bracket on both sides. The Ender3 has a one-sided bracket, and if you get it too tight or was it tighten it too much, you can tend to tweak the pulley. This one is mounted from both sides. That can't happen. So I guess that's about all I got to say about it. I highly recommend it for the price. It's definitely well worth it. Like I say, it's on Amazon here in the US for $269.99 right now. Great deal. And on Prime, it comes out free shipping right away. So I guess that's about it, guys. Oh, when I was building this, I had two issues. When I mounted this linear rail over here on the one side that the power supply mounts to, I accidentally mounted it upside down, and the power supply was near the top, so I had to take some bolts off the top here, this side, turn it out of the way, and then flip it back over, but I finally got that right. So, but it's a wonderful little printer. Oh, and another thing that Creality doesn't do on their machines, what they should, on their firmware, is they don't have thermal overload protection. I'm tired. I'm up real late and I'm tired. I think that thermal protection on it turned on. I think I got my words right. Anyway, I'll be downloading a new firmware from TH3D Studios, Marlin firmware. It has thermal protection enabled in it. So if the hot end or the bed was to go too high or too low, it will automatically shut down the machine. And the way it's set up now, if something was to malfunction, it'll just get hot and it could catch fire. I haven't seen an Ender catch fire. I've seen a video recently about a CR10 where the hot end is smoking. It's getting so hot. Oh, thermal runaway, that's what it's called. It doesn't have thermal runaway enabled in the firmware. But if you upgrade it yourself and download it from th3dstudio.com, you know, you can fix that problem. They have help files on there. He has tons of parts, you know, for different printers on the site, reasonable prices. Or you can wait a month, three or four weeks, and order parts from China. Anyway, I guess that's about it, guys. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you thought it was good. This is my first video I've basically done, which is kind of like unboxing, even though since there's been a bunch of unboxings online lately for this printer, I didn't want to go through and spend an hour or half hour putting it together and you watch every little thing and have to skip through it. That's why I time-lapsed it. So I'll get this all put together and get on the internet tomorrow and see if you guys like it. So thank you very much. I'm Jerry Knapp with 3D HP. I approve this message and happy printing. Thank you.